This video tutorial is brought to you by JimmyR.com, the best of the internet. This video is about the mask of the golden ratio, which is a perfectly symmetrical face based on the proportions of the golden ratio. If you Wikipedia search golden ratio, you can actually see that it's a number based on the proportions that occur very often in nature. The Greeks used it to structure their architecture. Leonardo da Vinci actually was the first one to say it applies to the face also. So they actually recently made a perfect proportioned face based on the golden ratio that, when put to what society considers the most beautiful people, fits perfectly. You can actually use this mask on your own pictures, on your favorite celebrity pictures, to see how perfectly it lines up to the golden ratio mask. This mask is for females, this mask is for males. Here's an example. I put it on one of my favorite celebrities. I make sure I adjust it. I can use some of the tweaking tools to actually resize it. And in GIMP or Photoshop, I can use the multiply tool. And guess what? Even though she's at an angle, it matches almost perfectly to her face. So it's actually pretty amazing. Another useful feature about these masks is you can clearly tell the difference between a man's face and a woman's face. I know a lot of people are like, it's second nature, this is a guy, this is a girl, you don't need any ratios to tell. However, if you give me a piece of paper and a pencil and ask me to draw a woman's face versus a man's face, I'll probably draw the same structure. And I'll put long hair on the woman and short hair on the man, maybe longer eyebrows on the woman. But there's actually very clearly defined differences between the faces. I've studied them a little bit, and one of them is that the eyebrow arcs on the woman. See? It arcs a lot higher for Angelina rather than Pierce Brosnan, who's almost seems to wrap around his eye a little bit. Another one is the jawbone. For a man, it goes up and it almost goes really close to the ear. For a woman, it's actually a lot lower. It's quite a bit lower. And finally, I guess the hairline. For men, it peaks down a little bit. For women, it's more circular. Those are the main differences. It's actually really simple. And the next thing I'm going to do is actually use a model. And we're actually going to try to change the sex of the person based on the ratios of the face. Pretty cool. Okay, the first thing and the easiest thing I can probably do to it is lower the eyebrows. So I can just zoom in and use a crappy tool like the smudge tool, since the picture's pretty small and it won't really degrade it a whole lot. And I'm just going to lower the arcs. I'm going to delete the higher arcs, make the eyebrow a little thicker, and maybe get it closer to the eye. Okay. Now this eye. Smudge tool is really bad if you have really high quality pictures, but if it's all pixelated anyway, it will make a whole lot of difference. So okay, now I set it to 100, you can see the eyebrows are lower. Now we're going to mess with the proportions of the face, the actual jawline and facial structure. Okay, so now I'm going to use actually tool. In Photoshop you go to filters, liquify. In GIMP you go to filters, and then we go to distort, and we go to eye warp. There's so many filters in GIMP. GIMP has a ton of cool filters. The first thing I'm going to do is make the face a little bit more square. And now I'm just going to higher the jawline closer to the ear. Move the chin a little bit. And pull this out. And the next thing I want to do is lower the hairline a bit. And now we have a guy, pretty much. I just made a few changes. It didn't take many changes at all, really. And you can adjust and modify. But I mean, that's pretty much it. That's all you have to do. and you can turn a guy into a girl, a girl into a guy, or vice versa, actually really easily. It doesn't take much. Well, I chose this picture specifically because just the head, the person had short hair, and it doesn't seem like the lipstick she was wearing is actually very obvious. But that's all it really takes. Actually, the liquefy tool is really cool. Even if you don't use it for this, you can actually do really silly stuff with it. Yeah, I don't know. A lot of people have fun doing that. The program I use today is called GIMP. If you search download GIMP on Google, you'll get the first result. It's completely free, and it works for Linux, Windows, and Mac. So you can get any of the downloads. You don't need Photoshop or something expensive. And it probably has even more features than even Photoshop. If you're comfortable with Photoshop, you can actually do the same thing. You just get a selection. For the mask thing, you can go to Free Transform to order the mask, make it bigger or something. Instead of using GIMP's multiple Free Transform tool, you can just use the one Free Transform tool on Photoshop. And if you control-click like one of the squares, you can actually move the perspective too. If you don't have like a straight-on picture. And again, in Photoshop, you have the little mask thing, like multiply, that'll actually put the thing on. So yeah. And as for the structure of the face, you can go to Filter. Well, not right now. Apply. You can go to the face, and you can go to Filter, Liquefy, and you can move the proportions of the face, given you select the correct layer. Sorry about that. Anyway, thanks for listening to this video tutorial. Actually, there was one more thing. This person recently was in a mugshot, and they were laughing because they said it looked like a guy. If you'll notice, the hairline is low, and the eyebrows are low. However, the jawline you can clearly see it's a girl. So now if you see those pat people around, you can tell by their face is kind of triangular, and their jawline is a lot lower to the ear, that they're actually a woman. So now you have the special ability to tell what is the sex, even if you have a very sort of ambiguous face. Anyways, thanks for listening to this video tutorial. I also recommend a video on YouTube called Portrait Comparison, Male vs. Female by Sycra, S-Y-C-R-A. This has been a video tutorial by JimmyR.com. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked my videos, please subscribe. I have many more useful videos. YouTube.